All right, we have a 1995 GMC 1500 pickup truck. It's been sitting for roughly 5 years, 4 to 5 years. I did just put a brand new battery in it because the battery was out absolutely no good. There's the old one over there. There's a new one installed. Now you can see from the spider webs, I don't know how well you guys can see that stuff. It's built up in here. A few key things you're going to want to do when a vehicle's sat this long. First thing you want to do is check all the fluids and make sure everything's up to par. Motor oil, radiator fluid, the gas in here. Now when I turned the key on, I didn't attempt to start it yet. When I turned the key on, it did say it's a full tank, and if that's the case, we're going to need to drain that fuel out of there because that fuel is no good, and we're not going to want to run it on that. But we will attempt to start it with that fuel just to see what's going on, what needs to be done. The other major thing we're going to need to do is definitely change the oil. That's a no-brainer. And if the vehicle does start, we are going to check the trans fluid, check a brake fluid, all the other fluids, make sure we got pedal. This truck has been sitting, so we don't know a whole lot about it. From what I could tell, it looks like it's been well maintained. It is a low mileage vehicle. So let's take a look at the radiator fluid first. And I can't see any in there. So we're going to put a little bit of water in there for the time being, just so it has some fluid in there to circulate. And once again, once we get it running, it's probably going to be a good idea to flush the radiator out and put some new radiator fluid. So let's take a look at the oil. Okay, so she does have oil in her, and it might be about a half quart low. So we're okay to attempt to start her. So let me stick this back in and put a little bit of fluid in this radiator, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at this brake fluid. Not that we're going to be stopping or moving the vehicle right away, but just to see. Okay, so the brake fluid is very low, and there's none in the front. Now, one thing about these old Chevys, they rust, and they rust bad. So right there tells me immediately we probably got a brake line problem, and this should be for the front brakes, and this one's probably the rear, or it might be vice versa. But we definitely got a brake fluid leak somewhere, because this, even though the truck's been sitting, it shouldn't be out of brake fluid. So we definitely got an issue we have to address there. But these trucks are known to rust. As you can see, the corner cab is just rusted right out of there, up underneath the door. These are good Chevy trucks, I'll tell you, they run, but they do rust. They're notorious for this rust. Let's see underneath here what we can see. Yep, rust on top of rust on top of rust. So we're going to see what we can figure out about this old truck and see what we can do with her. I could see one of the gas tank straps. You can see it hanging there. There's a gas tank strap broke, so I know that needs to be replaced. I know we got a brake leak somewhere. That's going to need to be fixed. From these frame rails, I'm going to get in here and grab on them a little bit and make sure that they're pretty solid. But these frame rails, they're pretty rusted. I don't know how safe it may or may not be, but I'll do a further inspection. But as of right now, what we're looking to do is a cold start on her and see if we can't get it to run. Tires are brand new all the way around. They're all aired up. I didn't even have to air them up, but I'm sure there's probably going to be some dry rot on them from sitting. Alright, so we put some water in the radiator, so at least we have some fluid circulating. Let's go inside here, and I got some starting fluid just in case she don't start on her own. So what we're going to do, we're going to prime the fuel. So what you want to do, this truck has been sitting. We don't want to pump on the gas or anything like that. We're just going to turn the key forward Let the power come in. Then we're going to cut it back off, wait a couple seconds. Then we're just going to turn the key forward again. We're going to do this probably a good 5 times and let that fuel pressure build up. Hopefully she'll start on her own without any type of help. But we don't know what's wrong with her. She is low miles. It only shows 90 on the dash. The truck's in really good condition other than the rust. Corner cabs on these trucks, like I said, those are notorious. All right, I'm hearing a fuel pump and hearing some bubble noise. Let's see what she does. Well, what do you know? First time starting it. And looky here. You see that brake light's on? We got a braking problem. So I'm gonna have to diagnose that. Let's see. First time starting, 5 years, she sounds good. Four to 5 years, somewhere in there she's set. So now the next step would be changing the oil, checking those fuel rails, flushing our radiator, getting some fresh fluid in there. It went down quite a bit once she started. And finding out where our brake leak is and attempting to fix the brake line. Alright guys, thanks for viewing. Once I get ready to do some of these repairs, I'll give you some updates on the old truck and let you know what we found out. I appreciate you guys viewing. Thank you.